Hey guys, it's Ariana. Welcome back to my channel. So for tonight's video, we're going to be reading some more scary stories. So I'm going to be reading just Reddit posts in this video. I will get to my email soon. And I brought back this really cute curled wig because I haven't worn it in quite a few videos and I'm excited to wear it because it's really adorable and I did my makeup for once because usually I just do eyeliner and call it a day. But I decided to bust out my Batty Bean palette, which if you don't know what this palette is, it looks like this. It is so cute. I absolutely adore the color palette of this palette and I wanted to do a blue look. So that's what my makeup look is from tonight. It's also posted on TikTok. So if you want to go watch my TikTok and listen to that scary story, I also mouth, I guess, because it's other people's sounds on TikTok. So if you want to go see that scary story, it's posted on my TikTok, which is the same as all of my other socials. Everything is Twisted Glam. Sorry that I didn't post yesterday. I was meaning to post a video yesterday because I want to start posting about 3 days a week, but I was not feeling well yesterday, so I did not post. But I'm feeling better today, so now I am ready to read some scary stories, and I have a bunch of scary stories that I want to read, and some of them are wild, so I'm very excited. So the theme of this video is going to be like dreams. So it's people that experience some really weird things in their dreams, and it's really interesting. So the first one that I want to read is from my DMs actually on Reddit, and it's from the Reddit author Francisco MP. They also do have a channel themselves, and their channel name is Real Ghost Stories. So I will link their channel in the description box down below with their story, but they actually messaged me on DMs and they wanted me to read their story. They also have a channel kind of similar to mine. It's Spooky Stories. So if you want to go check out their channel, it's all listed down below in my description box. Oh, before I jump into their story, I have my wicked candle in here, making the whole room smell like caramel apples, and my hot chocolate candle right here. And if anyone wonders why I always show you guys my candles, it's just like a good luck thing. It's also because I freaking adore this candle. It's so freaking cute. A couple people have asked me where I got it from, and I actually just got it at HomeSense. It's a Ray Dunn candle, and I don't think she's gonna bring it back. And if she does bring it back, I'll let you guys know. But I haven't seen it since I bought it like 2 years ago. So that's why I always save my candles. This was a bit of a weird time for me. I kept having strange nightmares, hearing things around the house at night when I was alone and overall feeling afraid and uncomfortable home alone. Back then, I lived at my parents' house, a decent-sized 3-floor detached home with 3 bedrooms. My bedroom, of course, was the one on the top floor. I was at high school age at this point, and my parents spent almost every weekend at a family house in the south of the country. I would avoid going down south with them, mostly because I would get bored out of my mind, but also because one of these experiences happened down there. This one, though, happened during one of these weekends I would spend alone at home. At this time, things were going great for me at school. I was very popular because I looked like Nick Jonas, and especially because of this, I got in my head that I was going to get into singing. This led me to watch the same video over and over again and sing along to it to train my voice and get better at singing. While the video did help at that, it also brought along something weird. I'd spent 2 or 3 weeks listening to this video every chance I got and singing along to it around the entire house. The same song, over and over again. I'm not sure how my parents didn't murder me. As usual, when it got to Friday, they packed everything up, prepared the dogs, put everything in our van, and left to return on Sunday. At the time, I didn't have any other pets, so I was left with the house to myself, free to do whatever I wanted, eat whatever I wanted, and sleep whenever I felt like it. So as soon as they left, I threw a frozen pizza in the oven and set up for my singing and gaming night in League of Legends. With no school the next day and no parents around, I'd say I stayed up till about 4 a.m., repeating the same song over and over again and speaking to about 30 people on the phone while texting another 30. When I finished, I got ready for bed. My bedroom was quite small, and so when I was in my bed, my feet would always face the door, which was an inch away from me, but from where my head was, I couldn't see either the door or the rest of the house. During the night, the same nightmare kept coming over and over again. I was lying in bed, just waking up, and something would feel wrong in the house. I would then actually wake up, try to shake it off, and go back to sleep. This happened about 4 times within the space of an hour, which was exhausting. Once again, I fell asleep and I started dreaming that I was waking up in my bedroom, something wrong going on in the house. This time though, my mom walked into my bedroom. She asked me if I was alright and if I was sleeping okay, to which I replied that I was, but I didn't get up from my bed. I know what you're thinking. I was supposed to be home alone. Then she stopped, looked around, away from my bedroom and through the door, and I could see her face transform from her usual nice smile into a face of concern. Then she left. This confused me. I sat up, called for my mom, but got no reply. I tried to get up, and then I woke up. Even worse, when I did, there she was again, asking me if I was okay and if I was sleeping well. I felt completely lost. I told her I was fine, with some doubt seeping through my voice, and asked her if she was okay. She said yes, and then she looked at my bedroom door with the same look of concern came over her face, and she left. This time, I could hear some noise coming from outside, so I tried to get up to see what was happening, and I woke up. I cussed in my head, confused with what the hell was happening. Looked up, and there she was, looking at me, quiet, just standing. I asked her if she was okay and what was wrong, and she said she was fine and asked me if I was sleeping well. I nodded, but I didn't say anything because of how freaked out I was at this point. Then her face changed, the same concern coming over her face. I heard some loud noise outside my room to the rest of the house, and she left. This time, though, she screamed. This loud, ear-piercing scream that made me jump and freeze in place for a second. For 1 second, I had no idea what to do. I took a breath and I got up to see what was happening, and I woke up. I was completely out of it. I had no idea what the hell was going on, but I was starting to feel panic. By now, my heart was starting to beat out of control. This time, though, my dad was standing there with a weird smile on his face. Not my mom anymore. Again, he asked me if I was okay and if I was sleeping well. I couldn't reply. He repeated the question. This time, I replied slowly that I was fine and asked him where Mom was. At this, a knife slashed through the middle of his stomach into the bedroom. Blood went everywhere on the floor. I jumped up, screamed, and started hyperventilating. He was dragged out of my bedroom, and I chased him into the heart of the house. And then I woke up. This time, I didn't move. I didn't know if I was actually awake. My mom wasn't there, and my dad wasn't there. I sat up, and that's when it started. The video I had been listening to and singing along to for weeks had an ambulance part that was meant to improve your voice range, and now it was coming from all over the house. I could hear the ambulance sound going on over and over again. Since I had been in this weird loop of nightmares, I stopped, tried to push my breathing away for a bit, and made sure I wasn't going to wake back up in my bed. I didn't, though. I stayed in the same place. I was awake, and the sound kept going on and on. I took 2 steps to get to my bedroom door, opened the door slightly, and my heart almost bursting through my mouth, and listened, trying to make sure the noise was actually inside my house, or if I was confusing it with something outside. It didn't take too long until I was sure I was inside. I could hear cars going by outside, and the sound was very different. I took a breath, with my legs shaking, turned on my bedroom light, and opened the door. The light flooded the flight of stairs going all the way to the landing that led to my parents' bedroom, and at the same time, the ambulance sound vanished, like it had never happened. I waited there for a minute, and nothing. I couldn't calm myself down anymore, couldn't go lie down in bed, and I couldn't bring myself to even turn off the lights. So I waited for morning to come, called my brother, and asked him to come pick me up to spend the rest of the weekend at his house. My brother was the only person I shared this with until now, and I only told him because of all the experiences he's had up until now. Some of it a bit like this one, others completely different, but impossible to deal with or believe at the same time. Please let me know what you think if you'd like to use it. So I replied and we chatted for a little while, but oh my God, that is so fucking wild. I've never had experience where I've been in a loop kind of dream. So that's really fucking creepy and really scary. And that's like one of my biggest fears actually, is like being in a dream and not knowing you're in a dream and then waking up, but you're still in the dream. That's fucking terrifying. I hate that so much. I actually had a nightmare the other day, and in my dream, I full blown knew I was dreaming, and I said, fuck this, and I said, wake up, wake up, wake up, and then I woke up. I hate those dreams. I hate when you know you're dreaming. Some people really like it, but I fucking hate that. Like, I don't want to be in my dream knowing that I'm dreaming. It's just like a weird feeling. So that's a really creepy story, and I'm wondering if it was just like your brain subconsciously like looping because you had that song on loop over and over and over. I don't know how you managed to listen to that song like for a month straight. That's wild. I don't think I could ever do that. And I like to repeat things, but I don't repeat things to that extent. So that's really crazy. And I'm sorry you experienced that. I would be very interested to know more of your other stories. So if you want to share any more stories with me, please let me know. But I'm really happy that you shared that one with me because that one is really fucking creepy. The next one that I want to read is actually another dream-like story. It is from the paranormal section, and it's from the Reddit author I Love Cookie 5432, and it's titled, My Fiance Had a Dream of the Demon I Used to Live With. My fiance had a dream last night. I believe it was an astral projection. For context, I used to live in a house with what I believe was either an extremely evil spirit or even a demon. My parents moved me into this house when I was 4 and my brother was 1. When you walked into this house, there were 2 big rooms to your right and left that were open, just a big hole with no door or anything. When you walked past, you'd be in our giant living room. Then to the left was the entrance to the hallway. Immediately to the right was my room, and a little to the left was the bathroom. And at the end was my brother's room. At least it was meant to be. Immediately after moving in, I had nightmares of things coming in through my window and killing me. 17 years later, I still remember those dreams very vividly. My brother did not last long being in that room at the end of the hall. He was horrified of it. He never got a good sleep, and he ended up moving his bed into my parents' room, and his bedroom was left to be for our toys and later storage. As the years went by, I had more and more nightmares. When I got to middle school, I'd wake up with the deep scratches in my arms, and to a shadow man standing at the foot of my bed, threatening my life. He never spoke, but I understood what he was saying. Even to my friends I had over as I grew up, they felt the evil, and I got stronger every year. Soon it made its way to the bathroom, where no one was brave enough to even look in the mirror in fear of seeing something they didn't want to. As you walked down the hallway, you felt the heaviness of it. As you approached the doorframe to that room, it became stronger. When you actually entered, all of your fight or flight instincts would kick in. You'd feel the pure evil presence that felt like a threat to your life. As a child, I would curse at my parents, hurt myself, have panic attacks, and at one point, I threw a table at my father. As a child. I do not remember any of it. I only know because my parents told me. It was regular for us to need someone at the doorframe to keep an eye on us to simply get our toys for Christmas decorations that we kept in storage. Now, to my fiance's dream. First, he has never seen this house, as I moved out at 17 and I met him at 18. This dream, he woke up multiple times and was still in his dream. He described being shown a hallway, almost like a camera in a movie, and at the end, he entered a room. He saw me as a little girl in a blue nightgown, which he had never seen, but he was able to describe it perfectly. Even my Shirley Temple brown curls, which never grew back after me being 5 years old. And I was screaming at the top of my lungs to the corner of the room, and he said it seemed like out of anger and fear. I just kept screaming. Then he was teleported to a room that looked like the bedroom. He described looking like a playroom, but with a table in the center, that he was even strapped to. The thing, the evil spirit, demon, whatever, came in, without speaking, communicated that he was going to hurt him, and then me next. My fiance looked at its face. Its facial features were blurred and not visible, and stared him down. This pissed the spirit off, and it left. My fiance had to conjure a Bible, which allowed him to escape. Once he did, he woke up next to me in his dream again. Voices in his head telling him that he was coming for me next. He grabbed my hand as hard as he could and protected me, but it got him again. It appeared again and told my fiance it was pissed that it couldn't get to me. Again, staring him down, asserting dominance, and a door opened that led to a backyard, also described perfectly at the house that again, my fiance had never been to. He described a tree with a sticky note that read, Pluribus Septem in Latin. Yes, he was able to read this in his dream, which scientifically and psychologically isn't supposed to happen. He woke up again. This time, he was in the center of the living room. He continued to pinch himself, hit himself, smack himself, until finally he woke up in real life. With a gasp so loud, it woke me up. It was 6:30 in the morning, and he told me about the dream. After research, pluribus septem are real Latin words. No, he does not know Latin, but these words were tattooed in his head after waking. It means something along the lines of multiple pathways or multiple walls. We aren't sure. I am convinced that it is still attached to me. It knows where I am. It knew when I moved 3 states away, as it has visited me in my own dreams, and I was back in that house, having to escape its grasp. I could read, write, and feel my own punches on myself physically in my dreams after escaping from it again. He has retaliated multiple times, even possessing me before officially moving a town away to almost hurt my parents, visiting me in my dreams in my new house, visiting in my dream in my first apartment with my now fiance, and once again, visiting in our second apartment 1,000 miles away. He is angry I'm no longer close enough for him to physically hurt me. I think a part of him is still with me, and I'm furiously angry he has now gone after my partner. I hate him. He ruined my childhood. He's given me trauma I can never vent to a therapist about. This post is actually helping, so thank you for reading. So that was their entire post, and then when I was speaking to them, they said, "You can absolutely read this. My only catch is that if you can please warn people about this. After researching and connecting dots, I've discovered that what I thought to be a spirit is actually a demon called an incubus. They are very real, and stories of women going mentally crazy over this is very real. But most in the 1800s, at least, were diagnosed with schizophrenia, even though their brain scans were normal. This demon came to my fiance because he is jealous and he is out to hurt him. After he had that dream, I've had more and more nightmares of absurd things, and I've had these dreams since I was 6. So my catch, please, if possible, if you do make a video of my story, use it to warn people that these things are very real, and if they experience this, to seek help in God. I have never in my life been religious up until now. Thank you so much for reading. I appreciate you." And then they corrected themselves. They said 1900s, not 1800s. So I wanted to share what she said in her message because she wanted me to add that in there. If you guys are experiencing this, then you need to seek help. I don't really know anything about these things, so I can't really speak on them, but that is really terrifying and really scary, especially because multiple people in your life are experiencing this, and that is so fucking scary. And oh my God, I hate that so much. So I'm going to read one more story because we're only at 18 minutes and I want this to kind of go over to about the 30-minute mark. So I'm going to read one from the Spoopy Cjades section, and it's from the Reddit author Solistus_lover, and it's titled Currently Happening. Hi everyone, first time posting a real story on here. Hope it's not too long. My name is Tiffany, and I have always been a sensitive. I have had several events happen in my life, but the last 2 years, living in my current apartment with my husband, have been the most active. There have only been 4 occurrences, but that's more in 2 years than I've had in a very long time. I am 32 and my husband is 31. When we moved into our apartment, we received some hand-me-down furniture from his aunt, which includes an antique 2-drawer dresser owned by his grandmother. He had a candle on it for a while, but eventually decided to move the dresser and take the candle off because of 2 occasions. The first being that we had both come home from a long day of work and we sat down to have dinner and watch TV in the living room. My husband got up to go change into pajamas and I heard him call out asking, "When did you light the candle?" I said I didn't. He then called me into the room and all 3 wicks of the candle were burning, with a medium-sized pool of wax in the center as if it had been burning for a little while. I asked him, "Are you fucking with me?" And he said, "No." He has never been one to play games or try to spook me for any reason, so I believed him. We blew out the candle and went about our lives. The second time, we had a friend over and we were again in the living room watching a movie. This time, I went into the room and discovered that 2 of the 3 wicks had been lit, and there was only a small pool of wax in the middle as if it had been lit very recently. I called out to him and I told him that I didn't want it lit if we were not in the same room, and he expressed that he hadn't. And I realized that none of us had been in that room for at least a couple of hours. I blew out the candle and went back to join him and our friend, but we told her about what had happened a couple times. We all chalked it up to being my husband's grandmother coming to say hello. Time goes by and we have moved the dresser and don't have a candle on it anymore. The third occurrence was escalated slightly. At about 2:45 in the morning, we were awoken to the sound of a loud siren of our smoke alarm in the living room kitchen area. We both flew out of bed and then within the 10 steps out of the bedroom to see nothing. No flames, no smoke. The strangest part was, in the 10 to 15 seconds it took us to jump up out of bed and run out there, the alarm stopped. Our alarm is sensitive. If we burn a meal even a little bit, the alarm will go off, and it takes a good 30 to 45 seconds of fanning it to get it to stop alarming. I was fully expecting to see flames from an electrical outlet or something, but there was nothing. So we went back to bed and of course forgot about it. Over the summer of our second year here, we had an incident with the rug in the living room that somehow became infested with maggots. We had to throw the whole thing away. Nothing too alarming happened for a while after that, until today. My husband is working nights now and I was home alone. But before he left for work, we found a single maggot under his shoe. I searched up and down and I couldn't find the source. Every few minutes, one more would appear in the middle of the room. I checked the ceiling, the trash can, the cat food, under the fridge, under the table, all the litter boxes, nothing. At about 7:45, I was lying in bed and I was scrolling TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook when I saw something white be tossed out of my sliding door closet. We have 3 cats, 2 gray and 1 white, so I thought it was the white cat maybe jumping in the air to catch a fly. I looked down on the floor next to my bed and he was stiff, hair raised, just staring at the hallway. So I looked into the hallway and a white hand towel was laying on the floor. The shelf it was on had not been touched in days. There was no reason for it to suddenly decide to fall. It also didn't have the movement of falling, rather it had looked like someone gently overhand tossed it out of the closet. Out loud, I aggressively said, "Nope, not today," and I ran to turn on the hall lights and pick it up. As soon as I picked it up, I felt cold. Goosebumps pricked up all over my body. A slight nausea in my gut. My cats were all poised as though nervous of what was about to happen next. I put my hand towel back on the shelf and I proceeded to text my husband and call my friend. I told her what had happened and we decided I needed to sage immediately. So I did that. Then I put new salt line under the front door. I felt a little better, but was still getting waves of goosebumps, like the rolling feeling of the waves on your skin when standing in the ocean. I decided to message a very spiritual friend of mine and explained everything I just explained here. She said it feels like it's probably a spirit, until I took a photo of my white cat staring into the bathroom at the end of the hall. When I got more shivers, she immediately replied, "Did you just take that right now?" I said yes, and I got chills at the same time. She said, "I know why, go close that door and put some binaural music on." She proceeds to tell me she believes it's a very evil entity and it's feeding off of me. She decided she's going to come over and trap it and take it away from the house. Today is Sunday and she will be coming over Wednesday. I will update you all next week. So I'm really interested in an update if your friend actually gets whatever in your house is out of your house, because that's really scary. But all of your events have been really alarming when it comes to like fires, so that's really fucking scary. I'm really concerned that your house is gonna like burn down. So definitely get that thing out of your house, get your friend to come over, and I'm not entirely sure what type of music that was. So if you can message and explain that to me, that would be a great help because I have no idea what that means. But that's really scary and I'm not entirely sure how your friend is going to trap it and remove it, but I'm very interested in an update. So I'm going to be watching your Reddit to see if you make an update because I'm very curious and that's really scary. That is like one of my biggest fears is like coming home and having like a candle lit or something because I have animals too. And I would hate if I went out and left a candle lit, let alone having it not lit and coming home to it lit. That's fucking terrifying because that's like one of my biggest fears is like my house catching on fire. I hope that never happens anymore and maybe you should remove all candles from your house because that's fucking scary. And I hope whatever entity is in your house fucks off because that's so terrifying and I'm so sorry you're dealing with that. But this is the last story that I'm gonna read in this video because we are at the 25-minute mark. So if you did make it to the end of the video, please leave your favorite Halloween emoji. Please send me a message on Instagram or you can even email me if you have any scary stories that you want me to read on the channel. If you have any scary stories, let's not meet stories, paranormal stories, or just creepy stories in general that have happened to you or even your own fictional stories, I would love to read them. So you guys can always message me your stories, especially longer ones because I love reading really long stories on this channel so I can get you guys longer content because I know you guys like my videos to be around the 30-minute mark. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for more content like this, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye.